So a mandate is an instruction that's given to someone to act on somebody else's behalf. I mean, it's quite clear in the wording. So if a person mandates another to go find something, go buy something, to deal with their affairs in a very particular way, they are mandating them. The mandate is normally segmented. It's supposed to be in writing, and it normally defines quite clearly what the expectation is of the person giving that mandate to somebody else. So in the real estate space, a mandate is often described as the instruction that's given to an estate agent, property practitioner, in order to deal with a particular property. Remember, the word mandate or mandate in itself does apply across different industries, so you'll find that they come in various shapes and forms. But then in the real estate space, you'd often find the mandate being a mandate to an agent to sell a property. So you mandate an auctioneer to sell, you mandate a estate agent to sell the property, to market it. And then in the letting space, if a person has a buy to let and is letting out their space, they would mandate an estate agent in order to either find a tenant or to manage the property that has tenants, or sometimes both. And these are typically the broader scope of the mandates that one would find in the industry. So for a mandate to be valid and enforceable in the real estate space, the person being mandated needs to be registered as a property practitioner with a property practitioner regulatory authority. That has always been the case. Even under the EAAB, one would have to be registered in order to be able to partake in this type of work, because the legislation requires that property practitioners be registered under this regulatory body that is supposed to take care of professional affairs. So if you're an agent, if you're a seller, if you're a landlord, and there's engagements going on, one has to be mindful that if these engagements fall within the ambit of the act itself, that these agents must comply and must be registered with the PPRA. So that is crucial. Reason for this is a landlord or a seller can actually refuse to pay commission if it transpires that the person that was brokering the deal, as an example, or finding them a tenant, actually was not registered. They can refuse to pay commission, and at this juncture, there is no claim at all that an agent or this individual that was mandated actually has against the seller, despite any agreement that's written. So that, for me, is first and foremost. As an estate agent, if an estate agent is approaching a landlord or a seller, the landlord and seller can often find that they're being requested to supply certain documentation, and this is certainly not something that's a surprise. And estate agencies or property practitioners must account in terms of the FICA regulations, of FICA itself and its requirements. So you will often find that the agents will be requesting FICA documentation from you. This is a must. They are an accountable institution. They must FICA. They do not have a choice. So you can expect it. If you are worried that you're giving away all this information, or you're paying money into some kind of trust account and you don't know whether you should be doing this, you can verify the registration status of the property practitioner with the PPRA. And if you find that they are registered, then at least you know that they're legitimately acting as property practitioners. And if they're not registered, then it's a very different story. Then you should inquire as to what is happening. Who is this individual? Who is the actual agent? Maybe this individual is an admin person that works for an agency. So you might just need to investigate further to make sure that everything is in fact legitimate. Those the FICA and the FICA is one of the legal requirements. And the last thing that I would also want to mention, so that a seller or landlord is not caught by surprise, is that agents now would have to ask for mandatory disclosure forms. These are also a requirement if anyone intends to market a property, be it for sale or be it for letting. And this is a form that the seller must sign to disclose defects that it knows or should know with respect to the property. Again, you cannot push back on this. As a seller, it is an expectation that you sign this, and as an agent, the agent must actually refuse to take on the mandate if you refuse to sign.